My good people, what are you all about? It's the big game, the derby in Manchester. Man United is taking on the side of, it's called Man City. And this is one of the biggest derbies in the world. You know what a derby means. Teams coming in through from the same vicinity. And that is Man United for you on the side of Man City. Welcome to this channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're totally watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. The lineups are already out and we're here to obviously portray you the best that is gonna have to be really put out onto this beautiful game of football. Smash the like button like no other and don't really fail to really share to a friend to let him know that Rokan David, a United fan supporter who runs a channel known as Man United, your United Matters channel, he's already here to obviously take us through the starting 11s and what he thinks about this beautiful game of football and what pundits like Gary Neville have gone ahead to say about this game of football, because they are already there and a load has been put into action. So let's thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum, and let's get rolling with the starting 11 of Man United that has already been put out by the manager of Man United, and we're here to obviously let you know what our thoughts are, and I hope you guys will be really willing to obviously share with me your thoughts onto this team. So before we really get there, Man United really I think I'll bring that later. Let's really get into the starting 11. I'll bring that later in here for it's at Etihad. The first leg, they beat us by 3-0, and here we come at Etihad to try to force out a result for the club of Man United as we take on this side called Manchester City. Onana, Lindelof, Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, Alejandro Garnacho, Casemiro, Rafael Varane, Dalot, Evans, Kobe Mainoo, Scott McTominay. That is the starting 11 for the club of Man United. Ten Hag really going really defensive because he's really lacking quality and very many injuries. Close to 8-9 players are really injured, the club of Man United, and it's hard for you to come out and really blame a manager to go out in such a structure. But it's a huge respect that he really puts in the team of Manchester City. Bendayer, Kambwala, I'm talking about the substitutes, Oguneye, Amrabat, Ahmad Diallo, Koela, Eriksson, Forson, and Anthony. That is the bench of Man United, and we are having Koela, Bayinder, Kambwala, Ogwe, meaning that we're really having like 4 or 5 players from the academy of Man United, and maybe kudos should go to the side of Man United, because getting in these players to obviously coming through and be represented this huge occasion is really important. When we go to Manchester City, it's Ederson, Kyle Walker, who is the captain, John Stones, Ruben Diaz, Nathan Ake, Rodrigo, that is Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Foden, Doku, and Erling Haaland. That is the starting 11 for the side of Manchester City. And if I told you went ahead to really watch my match preview that I went ahead to do talking about Man City as they face Man United onto the Rokani Media Football, you can all agree with me that I went ahead to obviously put in what we call the exact starting 11 in there for you that this man has gone ahead to name, and it's really a huge one. Big players, quality immersed into those players, and we're here to wait and see how the game is really gonna go. And it's written all over the world that whoever has better tactics will edge the other. That is it, no doubt about it. Whoever has better tactics will edge, and we're here to wait and see, will edge the other, no doubt about that. So after the starting 11 for the club of Man United, let's go and see, has Erik ten Hag sticked to his system of 4-2-3-1. Let's wait and see how he has gone ahead to obviously do his role in here at Etihad. Now, he has gone ahead to change the system. It's a 4-3-2-1 system that Ten Hag has gone ahead to deploy today to really see to it that he really puts Man City to his pocket. Onana in goal, very good, and Erik ten Hag went ahead to say lots of things about him. And I've always told you that Pep Guardiola said they really take time not to really not prepare or really analyze the goalkeepers of different teams, but there is only one goalkeeper that he analyzes, and he said it after the Champions League final when Man City beat Inter Milan by 1-0 to become champions of Europe last season. So he knows the capability of Andre Onana, and you see how much he really went ahead to transform us at Anfield. If it was David De Gea in that goal, we wouldn't have gone ahead to obviously try to cool down the temper. But every time Liverpool was attacking, what the manager did was gate going, and really this guy could obviously cool pressure because of his good footwork onto the ball. That is Andre Onana. So I anticipated that he's really in good form, epic moreover, and all he has to do is to really get himself in a better position of really winning himself those shots, crosshairs, and really dictating play. Maybe he can really find out a very beautiful pass like he did. Were we playing Fulham? Yeah, I think I'm going to hate to see him thrice in 3 different games. Against Luton Town, he released Dalot. Dalot inverted inside, and he obviously went ahead to get a keeper to beat. So he released Bruno Fernandes, and Bruno Fernandes brushed that ball to Alejandro Garnacho, but Alejandro Garnacho never did justice to that ball. And I think there is another ball that he really went ahead to do. So that ball over top today is really going to be important, and I think we're going to have to rehearse a lot about it. So Andre Onana is going to be pivotal in how we play today and how we're coming through to win this beautiful game at the Etihad. Dalot gonna play as the right back. We know what he cooks as a player. He's really very important onto that side to an extent that he has gonna have to improve. That now he averages close to 3 or 4 or 5 crosses in an entire game. And today, if he gets us like 2-3 perfect crosses into the mixer, then we might really find ourselves creating havoc in the side of City, because we're not gonna play beautiful football, but all I know, we are gonna be having moments. That is it. But he needs to face Doku and see how he really tries to stop him. Lindelof is being played as a left back. I think the manager's gone ahead, obviously, to really make his choice. We back him. But if all backfires, then Amrabat will have to come in through. And I thought Amrabat would have gone ahead to be very important. But I know why Amrabat has gone ahead to be put on the bench. When you look at the bench of Man United, if you get in Amrabat on the pitch, then you'd be left with no able midfielder off the bench to come in through and obviously reinforce your attacks in the team. So I think it's really tactical for Lindelof to start. He's going to be facing either Bernardo Silva or Phil Foden. Then John Evans and Rafael Varane. This is how they played when you're playing against Liverpool. They defended very well. They closed down Liverpool. They won all the aerial duels. However much Liverpool had 32 shots at our goal, I think only 2 or 3 were on target. That showed you how good we defended, and they never found themselves in a position of really being into threatening areas. So John Evans and Rafael Varane, Ten Hag has gone in for experience. That is it. 35-year-old Evans and a 30-year-old Rafael Varane. The experience is huge, and for Evans, he knows what this derby means because he has played in it, ever since he came in through and made his debut for being a defender at Man United, I think, around 2007, 2008. So he has gone ahead to obviously put in the shift that he's really well deserved as a player, and he's respected for that. So that's why he played him when you're playing Liverpool, because he knew to it that he's that kind of person who knows exactly what the rivalry between Man United and Liverpool means. So he brings him through in the derby to obviously see to it that Man United really comes in through to defend better. So the experience is huge in that central defense, and I know they can really try to defend very well and really not see us concede. And even Evans is press resistant sometimes. You can build or rely on him when you really start playing from the back. Now, the midfield, Casemiro coming in through to play in the CDM. The last time we played here, Casemiro came off the bench and played like 30 minutes, and he really went ahead to put in a huge performance in there. So Casemiro is a very good player, and he's going to be pivotal in all what we are supposed to do. Shielding the back four and initiating play, like connecting the midfield to the attack. He's going to be really very important to see how these patterns of play really build up. And you also know how good he is when it comes to set pieces. And when we get set pieces, I think that will be our highest chance to obviously get in a goal, and we should capitalize onto that. And I 100% believe the manager of Man United and the set piece coach, who is really managing his last game today as a set piece coach manager, would love to see to it that on his last day as a Man United set piece coach, will really get in a goal from a set piece, That is it. And all we don't concede from a set piece. So the set piece manager has to do two things. Coach them how to defend set pieces and how to really score set pieces. So Casemiro is really pivotal. And over the weekend, in the midweek, he went ahead to score the winner in the 89th minute to leave it late at the City grounds. That is against Nottingham Forest. Shows you how good and important he is for the club of Manchester United. Then Kobbie Mainoo coming in through, rested and played only 2 minutes, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes when you're playing against Nottingham Forest in the midweek, and here he comes to obviously put in a shift, to obviously be fresh, and he knows the huge job ahead of him. His mentality is really great. At Liverpool, he played for like 60, 70 minutes, and then he was taken off, but he really put up a shift as a player, and he really looked exceptional. And today, I really believe he's an exceptional player who is going to really show his class at the Etihad. McTominay in the midfield three. Remember, Ten Hag has opted for a 4-3-2-1, and he really understands that McTominay is going to be doing the job. Bringing McTominay is really good because that you're not going to be having most of the ball and you're going to be on the chasing pack. So Man City are going to be having a lion's share of the possession, and these players are really going to be really running around, and the running has to be really a lot. And Garnacho, central attacking midfielder, meaning that we are going to narrow the pitch, because Man City operates a lot in the middle of the park, and Ten Hag has decided to obviously narrow it up. Bruno Fernandes also playing like a right attacking central attacking midfielder, and Garnacho is playing as a central attacking midfielder. A left central attacking midfielder. He will obviously try to go this side, but their main role is to really compact this midfield, and leave these lines, because when you really let them do their job this side, you can easily close them down. You have people like Evans, Rafael Varane that are really good at game reading. But when you really see these people playing wide, then a lot won't really go your way. Then Marcus Rashford is leading the line for the club of Man United, and that is how Ten Hag is going to hate to play. So Ten Hag is going to hate to go in for compactness in the midfield. That's why you see to it that you see this. I think this is what? Is it a hexagon? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is a pentagon, right? Yeah, 5 is a pentagon. So this is the pentagon build-up. When you look at this, it's a pentagon build-up, and it's a pentagon sketched to track Rodri and Kevin De Bruyne. This is what the manager is going to hate to do, because to it that Phil Foden is good, but there are people that will come in and annihilate you if at all you don't really do the checkmates against them very well. So these three players are going to be really shielding the back four, and you're going to see very many times that on the attack, Scott McTominay will override, through the half space, the left half space, and Kobbie Mainoo will do the same, such that Bruno finds time to spread wide. All else, they might really use the ability of Diego Dallo to see to it that he plays a lot, and they might really use this side a lot for Dallo, like get the ball, start passing it. Bruno, don't invert or really push to the touchline. If you don't push to the touchline, that means you're going to leave a lot of space for Dallo to operate, and we're going to hate to see to it that Dallo has going to hate obviously come good, and in my combined 11, I really picked him over Kyle Walker because of his qualities and what he has always going to hate to put up on the field of play. So that is Diego Dallo for you and his capabilities. So you are going to see a very, 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 very defensive side of Man United, but sometimes when they start to build up the game, he will really try to see what Ten Hag is trying to build up. So I don't know who is really going to be keeping out Rodri and what's the name of the guy? And Kevin De Bruyne, because those two are the two specimens that Man City really have, and they use those to build onto their attack a lot. So we wait and see how that pans out, but all I want to see is Marcus Rashford really trying to really show up. He has done a lot of talking in the midweek, and you want to see him walk that talk. That is the most important bit of it all. You have to walk your talk. If you don't walk your talk, then the rest is really going to be history, because no one is going to take you serious. So you have to walk your talk. That is it. Walk your talk. Hear me out. Rashford, walk your talk tonight. I remember in your second or third game for Man United in 2016, he really came in through and really scored a win against Man City. Can you obviously rise up to the occasion and really put in the effort and really try to find that goal? I want to see you running. I want to see your anger. I want to see you really show me that you are hungry for goal and really to take on these defenders and really knock them, shoulder to shoulder fights, provoke them with words, tell them that this city belongs to us. Just provoke them with words, play onto their mentality, and then we'll find ourselves really winning. So that is it for Man United. And now let's get to the side of Man City, right? Man City has gone ahead to get in a system of 3-2-4-1, a system that this man has gone ahead to love a lot and a lot and a lot. So this system has gone ahead to be loved by this guy a lot, and last season he went ahead to obviously implement it to the fullest at the side of Man City. And it's a 3-2-4-1 system that Man City has gone ahead to go in for, and they're really having the following people. And who are they having? First and foremost, they're having Man City, they're having Ederson in goal. I've always told you that his biggest ability is being a press resistant goalkeeper. That is it. That's his biggest ability as a player. And if you really want to really do the needful, direct shots at him. He won't really save many because he's not all that a good shot stopper. That is Ederson Molares, but he's good, and has been at Man City for a very, very long time, almost making a decade at the club of Man City. Then Kyle Walker is playing as a right-sided. He's playing on the right of the three-man central defense. Nathan Ake is playing on the left of the three-man central defense, and Ruben Diaz is playing at the center of the three-man central defense. And he really wants to see this guy tracking Rashford and Garnacho, So Garnacho and Rashford can really try to see to it that they really give Kyle Walker hard time. Because if Rashford switches here, maybe Garnacho switches in the middle and we make some good runs, then we can disorganize this central defense. Though this guy, Diaz, is really a very good central defender. If you know, he has gone ahead and really be one of the best central defenders in the Premier League. And I remember at a certain point X, Man City went ahead and win the league. And guess what? He was named the player of the season and voted by his fellow players in the Premier League. Diaz has the quality, he has the experience, and Rashford needs to show us that he can really bully him and really put him out. Then Rodri and John Stones playing the double pivot. John Stones, by the way, talked about this role, like inverting him in the midfield and how everything really goes on as planned. So he's really having these players. These 5 players are really good at defensive work, and they are trying to obviously see to it that they give a lot of liberty to Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, and Doku to operate into the final third of the pitch. And for Erik ten Hag, he needs to find a solution to this system. And I think that's why he's going to have to deploy 3 central midfielders and try to compact the midfield to stop Kevin De Bruyne, Foden, and Rodri, because Foden is really on fire. He can really put out a moment of magic, anytime if you don't stop him. But Bernardo Silva is playing as a right winger, and Doku is playing as a left winger, and Erling Haaland is really leading the line. The last time we played them at Etihad, this guy came out and really scored a hat-trick. At Old Trafford, he was denied 3 times by Andre Onana, but later towards the end of the game, he made it 3-0 for the club of Man City. And that is the beauty of Erling Haaland. He's in really elite form, comes into the week when he has really gone ahead to score, I think, 1 over the weekend, and in the midweek went ahead to put 5 past Luton Town. And he's really one of those men that you could obviously really come and really know that we should really stop him from scoring. But he's really a very lethal number 9. He hasn't been in good shape recently, but that will really see him really come. So this system to be broke down, we need to dominate this midfield. That is it. Not dominate it like we are passing, but let us make it hard for them to obviously do what we call positive passes. Negative passing should be the way to go for the club of Man United, and we should really put in a lot of work. The hard work should be really lit, because these players now know they are really going to rest for 7 days, and they should really show us that they know the meaning of this derby at the moment. Now, At the beginning of the game, there was a shocker. Lisandro Martinez and Rasmus Højlund came in through, all arrived with the club of Man United at Etihad Stadium, and their involvement was unclear, and I really thought that the manager was playing on the minds of Pep Guardiola and the players of Man City. But I really never thought that they're really going to have a go, because for me, for Rasmus Højlund, I think next weekend he's going to be really ready. According to me, he might be ready to play in the next weekend, but this weekend I don't expect him to come in through. And Lisandro Martinez, maybe it's really a boost, and he's going to hit to obviously show the manager that I'm really recovering, and he has going to hit to obviously put these players around them to obviously have some good morale with the side of Manchester United and the players that have going to hit to come in through and really do the beautiful game in here for you. So that is Man United for you, and then the side that are going to hit to come in through. And have I talked about the substance of Manchester City? They're having Ortega, Moreno, Kovacic, Alvarez, Gomez, Vardy returning from injury, then Akanji, Nunes, Bob, and Lewis. That is the bench of Manchester City. And they're really having some players. Kovacic can come off the bench and really change this game. Alvarez can. Bob can. They have like 3 players who can come off the bench and really change this beautiful fixture that we are yet to really enjoy right about now. Now, let's see what Gary Neville has to say about this game of football today. Gary Neville has said the following, that Gary Neville, where are you? But guys, smash the like button, continue to vote. Gary Neville has been asked how Man United can win. He said, Casemiro and Mainoo are absolutely vital today. The only way in my mind that United can win the game is counter-attack well. It's how you break out in quality that matters. They have to be really on the half turns, and the presses City will put on you. So Gary Neville has been on to Sky Sports. He's at Etihad. He's going to be one of the commentators that are really going to be bringing this game live from Etihad, and he has going to hate to really put out that statement that we need to be good at really counter-attacking, and this is why we need to be lethal when all those attacks really coming through, because you can't really try to go head-to-head with Man City. All you need to do is sit back and hit them on the break. He has talked about the half turns. Receiving a ball in a half turn is really great because it shields off your opponents. That is it, and it gives you room to obviously operate and really find out a perfect pass. Now, if Kobe Mainoo can really be the Mainoo we've always gonna hate to know, then he can really do that and maybe find out a pass like he did against Liverpool. Though Garnacho and Rasmus Højlund were not really good on the day, and they were not really lethal, because against Liverpool we got like 2 clear-cut chances, but we couldn't really kill them off. Garnacho failed, then who else? Then this other guy also failed. Then Rasmus Højlund also failed. But in a game like this, if at all you need to obviously put in a shift, all you need to do is simple. Get yourself in and running. That is it. Chances coming through, you have to really be lethal and really keep them off. And if it is a win for Man United, Ten Hag will really have a very huge backing. And no one is going to come out and really say, Ten Hag really knows exactly how everything will go ahead and really take the job, because they're going to hate to really annihilate him that is not good for the job because of results like this. Now, I'm having John Knowles come out and say that Man City to trash Man United, to thrash. He says, is this a damage limitation job for Man United? A question. Get out of there without walloping. How the mighty have fallen. With a one-sided match on the cards, we must find a way to back Man City in some form. It comes in the corner markets, where yet again we can attack the opposition corner counter against Man United. United's 8-game Premier League average of corners conceded now stands at 7.5 per 90 after Fulham won 9 at Old Trafford. I hope some of you took the advice and backed over. Then the corners conceded average rises to completely bonkers. 10.8 corners conceded in the last games against the top 5 in the Premier League, where they shipped 10 away at Villa, 13 at home to Spurs, 6 at home to Villa, 12 away at Liverpool, and 12 versus Man City, and 12 at Arsenal. So he's talking about the corners that we've gone ahead to concede. But I think we've not gone ahead, obviously, see to it that we really see very many goals go past us in those corners. He should really note that recently we are defending better, and we also really a threat in set pieces. I think the Man City total corners line is a play despite it being higher than ideal. Sky Bet have City to win 8 whole more corners at 5 or 6, which is fine, but we can be greedy. I wouldn't put people off the bigger lines too with 12 all more than 1 or 2. It's a bet that would have landed in 4 of those 6 aforementioned games against the top 5, and his prediction is 4-0, that Man United is losing 4-0. You know, I don't think we are going to lose this ugly. That is it. I don't think we are losing this ugly tonight. We are really having lots and lots of things. Then Jasmine, Go United for life. Kamhande Johani, United 2, Man City 1. Diala Chizoba, God help us. Or Adepare Opemi, God help us. I think we are really going to draw this game. The best result we can going to get is really going to be a draw for me. I'm not really looking out onto us really getting some serious 3 points, but if they come in through, I welcome them, but it will be one of the hardest jobs to be given to the club of Man United. So for everyone who is really looking out to really expect a win, expect it at a level of about 10%. That is it. But 30%, 40% I can call in for a draw, and 50% I can give City a win. But it's really hard for the club of Man United. It's going to be really hard for Man United, obviously, get going. But all I can confirm you is that United will try to put up a show. And today, I think these players are in the mood to obviously fight. Remember, we are 11 points behind Aston Villa and 6 points behind Tottenham Hotspur. And those are the teams that we are supposed to chase to see to it that we get into that position of the Champions League. So, what are your polls looking like? The polls are like 44% have called in for United win, 40% have called in for City win, and 15% have gone ahead to call in for draw. So, let's wait and see how this happens. But when the game of football is done, you know how we do it. We'll come in here and really bring you the best that you guys deserve onto this channel. I'm seeing Erik ten Hag talking to the media right now, and I would like to obviously trace what he's really talking about this game of football in there. But we are having a lot to really watch in this game of football. But for me, all I want is the mentality and that heart to fight for the side of Man United. If we lose, let's lose honorably. Let's not lose ashamedly. That's what really pisses me off. If we are to lose, let's lose honorably, and let's all come out and say we really went ahead and really fought and put in a shift, and that shift has gone ahead to obviously get us results that everyone has gone ahead to obviously appreciate. So for me, that's the shift I'm really calling for the club of Man United, and I want to see us really putting in the required bodies on the line. Our bodies should be thrown onto the line, and we want to see exactly what is gonna be like. I'm looking for what Ten Hag is gonna hate to say at the Etihad before this game of football really comes in through, and I'm also looking in for Guardiola. Now, Ten Hag has said on if United are playing 4 midfielders, said no, I don't think so. Sometimes we want to overload the midfield by dropping players, but by opposite movements to get a little bit of confusion there. That's what he said. He said, we know they have a high back line. We have a lot of speed. We can really bring forward there with Garnacho, with Rashford. And from the second line, from Scott McTominay, and from the second line with Scott McTominay, breaking into those spaces and making the late runs into the box to see to it that he really becomes a threat or penalizes Man City. He concluded and said, even from the third line with Diogo Jota, so we can have our options there. I told you Diego Dalot is really very important in this game of football. He really has a lot to play for the club of Manchester United, and a lot is really going to come in through. On Sky Sports, Bruno is being played as a right winger, meaning that Scott McTominay is going to be played as a central attacking midfielder. It's a 4-2-3-1 as usual. Then on John Evans, he said John Evans also struggled with injury lately, but he's one of the players so have fought to get into the game, and I think this is the strongest back four we have now available. Obviously, that is it. Then he said on John Evans, very experienced, and also I think it's a back four that can deal with the offensive threat, but also take advantage of making the extra play in the midfield. That is it. I told you about how press resistant that player is. That is John Evans and Dalot. And I think Lindelof is also really a press resistant player. Then he said, I never think about scenarios. I never think about scenarios, not in winning, not in losing. We're really looking forward, and I said the players really fought to be part of this game, and they believe we can get something out of this game. So he's here to win. If I told you you're going to see my first video uploaded on this channel, I told you Ten Hag thinks that he can win, and he can get a point here, all points. Then, with the idea getting something from the game, we have to go in the game, we have to fight, and we have to believe. So this is what I'm just gonna hate to say. Let's fight, let's die fighting, and let's really do the needful and really try to annihilate this side. Then Ten Hag concluded and said every single player has to show passion, desire, determination, and intimidation if necessary. He was talking to the Man United TV and Sky TV. So that is it for now. I'm out, guys. See you later when the game of football is really done and dusted.